Welcome back to Wise Man Company, everyone. Ben Brown here, and today we have a very, very new product. This product has come out in the last couple weeks. I've had it for about a month. It is from Vortex. It is their Gen 2 Huey UH1. This thing, the first gen I really, really liked. I think they did a lot of things right with the first generation. The second generation, they definitely have some improvements. Now again, I haven't had this long. This is kind of just an overview because it is such a new product. I do have some bigger plans for this in the future. I'm going to take it on a hog hunt that we have scheduled, so you'll get to see it actually at night in action. And that kind of leads us into our first big change for the Huey, and that is a night vision capability. So it has a night vision button, a dedicated button. It has 4 different settings on night vision, and it's really easy to get to. It's a nice big button at the back. It says NV on it, can't miss it. That is probably the most notable change for the Generation 2 of the Huey. More and more people are getting into night vision, shooting at night, low light. It would make sense that Vortex would add that capability to this holographic sight. It is pretty much a no-brainer. They did a good job with it, I think. Again, I'm going to have more video of it and more time with it here in the future because I do have something scheduled, a hog hunt scheduled coming up, and I'll be able to take you guys along for that. So, night vision, probably the most noticeable, biggest deal when we're talking about the Generation 2 of the Huey. Let's keep going. They are still using the EBR-CQB reticle inside. I'll roll a clip of that reticle right now so you can see. It's really a nice reticle. It's kind of EO-techy, but as there are some distinct differences. There are 15 different settings of brightness, so that's a lot of adjustability. Those buttons are still on the rear. I did run this sight with a magnifier, so if you're running a magnifier behind the Huey, it's kind of difficult to get to those buttons. Those buttons, 2 of them at the same time, will turn it off, hit one of them to turn it on. And again, that night vision button is pretty self-explanatory on the back. But again, if you're running a magnifier behind it, it is a little bit cumbersome to get to those buttons. If you're not running a magnifier, it's easy. It's really easy actually because the buttons are large, tactile. When we are talking about brightness settings, it does have a daytime memory. So what that means is when you shut the optic off and you turn it back on, it's going to remember the last setting it was on. You don't have to readjust the dials to get it exactly where you want it. It's going to come back on where you left it off. The next change we're going over is what I like the most. The Huey is a big old girl. She's thick, and she was just over 11 ounces. I think she was pushing 12 ounces on the Generation 1. They did shave some weight out of the Generation 2. They took a whole ounce out of it. I know you might say, like, that's not a big deal, but again, they're going the right direction. They're going down in weight instead of up in weight because it is already a very big optic. When they did that, though, they increased the viewing window. So it's a larger window than the Generation 1, and you can see that in this clip right now. On the right is the Gen 1, on the left is the Gen 2. You can see the outer profile and size might not seem that different, but again, they did take an ounce out of it. You'll see some like weight savings and scalloping and stuff on the casing of the Generation 2. And then, as you can tell, the window is definitely a little bigger than the Generation 1. So, bravo Vortex, you found a way to give us more field of view and less weight. So that is one change I really, really like about the new version of the Huey. How is the Huey powered? It's still using a CR123, but they took away the charging port, the micro USB charging port. Wah, wah, wah. I know, that was kind of one of the things I did like about the Generation 1. I liked that you could plug it in if you needed to do that. Apparently, that wasn't very popular. I don't know why, so they took that away. They did give you a very tactile and easy to use battery compartment. You kind of flip the switch open and it works like a turnkey. You can pop the lid, get your old battery out, put your new battery in fairly quickly. Still running on one CR123. I'm not sure the actual length of time that your optic will run on a CR123. I can't seem to find that anywhere, but I'm sure that kind of information will start to turn up as these Hueys get used more and more. So if anyone else knows what the battery life would be on the Generation 2, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to know. Guys, like I said, there's more to come on the Gen 2 Huey. I'm running it on my 300 blackout using a Unity Tactical riser. Love these risers. They take the optic, set it a little higher. So if you are using night vision gas mask or you just want a more comfortable way to shoot the gun, use a riser, gets your head elevated a little bit, gets the optic a little higher on the gun. They're just really nice to use. So stay tuned for future videos with this optic. I know the Huey's very popular out there. Price point on these new Hueys, MSRP is $800. That's salty, that's very expensive. Street value obviously will be less than that, and I'm starting to see them pop up all over social media, so I know they are going out. They are moving out the door, so if you want one, you probably can find one right now. This is going to probably stay on the blackout for a while, again, because I'm going to do that hog hunt later. I'm going to want to use a 300 blackout for that little outing, so you'll see it riding on here for a while, and then after that, I don't know, maybe I'll put it on something else. Time will tell. All right, guys, leave me a comment. I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about the Gen 2 Huey? What do you think about the Huey in general? Good upgrades? Could they have done better? I want to hear from you guys. I want to talk about it. If you have any questions about specs or anything like that, let me know. I'll try to answer them the best I can. Thank you to Vortex for sending this out to me. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to doing more with it, like I said. Guys, hit that like button. Subscribe to Wise Man Company. Thank you so much for all the support you guys give us. If you want any gear from us, go over to wisemancompany.com. That's where you can support us best. Thank you. I'll see you on the next video.